if you've played Pokemon before, you've definitely come across Landorus-Therian. Landorus is one of the most dominant, oppressive, disgusting Pokemon that has ever grazed this mighty earth. Landorus himself may be even more famous than Wolf Glick. I know, a little heinous, but also true. Landorus takes no prisoners, not even Wolf. Landorus has probably flinched your ass. You turned, got out, and taken no damage, because it was so fast. Maybe you've missed a few moves. Maybe it flinched your ass again and again, and maybe it flinched you so many times that you went 0-3 at Dallas because of the Landorus who kept pressing Rock Slide. I don't know. But you've probably encountered this Pokemon before. Let's look at the lore real quick to really understand our enemy here. Taken from Black and White itself, the game he originated in, lands visited by Landorus grant such bountiful crops that it has been hailed as the guardian of the fields. He's a glorified farmer who apparently specializes in throwing rocks. I'm not really seeing the vibe, but that is what we're working with here. Let's look at these stats. Landorus' stats, I mean, goddamn. 100 base, 45 attack. How can you get better than that? There's very few Pokemon that even have that kind of a attack stat, let alone with Intimidate. The HP, 89, not too bad, a little bulky. Base 90 defense, it's pretty cool. Base 105 special attack, which means you can kind of run him as a special attacker if you want. Base 80 special defense, his vulnerable point where we can strike. And his speed 91, oh, that's actually pretty fast. Landorus has got a great mix of stats here. He's bulky, he's fast enough, and his attack stat is meaty. Landorus comes to play. I think Landorus is absolutely insane, and these stats are just the beginning. Let's look at the ability. Oh wait, is that Intimidate? Oh, Intimidate, one of the greatest abilities in VGC? Great. Okay, so we've got Intimidate. Even better, we have an insanely bulky, insanely strong physical attacker with Intimidate. That's pretty cool. Let's segue into those moves. Oh, we've got, oh, that's U-turn. Sick. So Landorus has the ability to cycle Intimidate and just run away from battle if it so chooses with the base 91 speed, which means it's going to outspeed some of your Pokemon. Oh, we've got Earthquake, one of the best ground type moves, and it's a stab. We have Rock Slide, of course, to hit the flying Pokemon that Earthquake can no longer hit. Superpower for some coverage. Fly, because let's give him Max Airstream now. Sounds legit. Protect, if you actually want to protect. Stone Edge if you want to miss your moves. And Outrage, so we can have Max Wormwood now if we so choose. All in all, really amazing attacks. And we have Earth Power if you kind of want Earth Power. But, you don't really need to use Earth Power. You should probably just use them physically. But that's besides the point. For items, we could run a Sash if we were, to throw back to the good old days of no Dynamax. But now that we have Dynamax, it's not as effective as it once was. So we got Assault Vest, Scarf, Life Orb, all pretty good choices. We also have Choice Band. If you're feeling spicy, you could go some Safety Goggles if you really want to ignore Mungus. But I think we're going to see a lot of Assault Vest, a lot of Choice Scarf, and a lot of Choice Band. So now, let's look at some sets. So I have 3 sets prepared for you today. All of them, obviously, are running max attack, max speed. Not getting too spicy here, but I think that's legitimately one of the best ways to run Landorus. So first we have Assault Vest. Let's raise that weak special defense stat and really juice it up, right, with an Assault Vest. This set's going to run Earthquake, Fly, Rock Slide, and U-turn. I think Fly could be superpower as well. It kind of depends on what max moves you would like. You could also replace U-turn, but I do think Earthquake and Rock Slide are staples here. Earthquake for obvious reasons, shake the earth. Rock Slide to hit the things that can't be shaken by the earth. Fly to give yourself a little boost in speed, and U-turn to be annoying as hell. I think this set overall is really strong and just capitalizes on some of the best parts of Landorus, which are its amazing attack stat and its bulk. You can bulk it down with Assault Vest and with more max Quakes to make it even tankier and more annoying to kill, and also you can support your teammates with Fly. Really great set, really love this. So for the Assault Vest set, we're just going to have max attack and max speed, just so we do the most damage and also are as fast as possible so we can set up max Quakes before we were to get hit. You could probably run some extra bulk, and I think we will see some Adamant Landoruses, but I think this is a good place to start as any, and it does give you the necessary stats you need. This set has been around since Landorus came out. God, it's so annoying. If you ever wanted to U-turn, and U-turn, and U-turn, how about one more U-turn? Boom, this is the set for you. You just spam Intimidate until everything's softened up that you can just press Earthquake. It's so annoying, so frustrating to deal with, but so good. This set just spams Intimidate and focuses on that, so U-turn, essential. Earthquake, you want to soften them up, you want to do that big damage with your stab move, and then Rock Slide for, the Rock Slide reasons, it's still useful. And then Superpower for a little bit of coverage. Fly isn't as good because you're probably not going to max it, but you could run Fly if you so wanted to, just for that max potential, but I think Superpower is probably better. Being able to hit stuff like Heatran in grassy terrain can be really nice, so having Superpower is really nice. Scarf Landorus is pretty simple, max attack, max speed. You could forego some of the speed, so you're a little bit slower and can get a little bit more bulk, because you don't need to be that fast, but it is always nice in a mirror. For the last set, this one's a little bit of a spicy pick, a little one of my homegrown remedies here. So this one is Life Orb Landorus. I've been using Life Orb Landorus since I came out of the womb. I love this set. It's so goddamn good. I used it back in 2015. I don't know if it's as good as it once was, but I see no reason why it couldn't be. The set for Life Orb Landorus is Earthquake, Fly, Rock Slide, and Protect. It's just really focused on maxing and abusing the max moves that it has. Earthquake, Fly, and Rock Slide are all really good and give Landorus plenty of ways to hit the opposition. Got both stabs, we got Rock Slide for those pesky flying types. And yeah, it's a pretty simple set. I decided to run Adamant Nature on this. Max attack, max speed. I want to go as fast as possible, but I do want to pack a punch a little bit more than normal. So I am max attack, really capitalize on my Life Orb there, and then 4 HP. Landorus is pretty straightforward no matter the set. You mainly want to spam Intimidate and U-turn and put yourself into positions where you can potentially Earthquake later. Being able to press Earthquake in the late game can be huge, especially if all of your opponent's Pokemon are rather weak and down and you're just able to stand next to a Celesteela or a Cresselia or a Corviknight or something and you're just able to spam Earthquake. It can be really, really potent and it can win you games. I think overall Landorus is definitely a pivot. You want to switch him constantly, be constantly U-turning or be constantly switching him out just so you're constantly putting on Intimidate pressure. And also it does give you lots of ways to navigate the game. He's very flexible and being able to U-turn is one of the greatest moves. Pivoting is so huge in competitive Pokemon. So it just gives you a lot of opportunities to reset your position, reset your board, and give yourself advantageous matchups. The counters to Landorus have changed quite a bit. Feeny, while still being potent, is a pretty good answer. Dragapult is one of the new additions that is able to just spam max Wormwind, keep up with max Airstreams itself so it doesn't lose the speed control from max Airstreams from Landorus, and also just hit it for a lot of damage. Clear Body also negates Intimidate, so Dragapult just seems to be an exceptional Pokemon to face Landorus. Metagross is also really good due to Clear Body as well, but also with the Dynamax ability of Metagross, it can get really tanky, really huge, and there's a lot of new Pokemon that are in this game to help Metagross, and if you Intimidate Landorus, Landorus isn't going to be doing too much even if Landorus does max, even though Metagross is weak to it. Metagross also being weak to Landorus means that it might be running Weakness Policy, which means it can KO back with a Ice Punch or a Max Hailstorm. So Metagross is definitely a huge issue for Landorus just because it's negating all of the natural strengths that Landorus has. Intimidate is one of the best parts of Landorus, and Metagross is immune. So that physical defense is just really exploitable by Metagross. Bulu and Rillaboom are two sides of the same coin. Grassy terrain monsters who are just going to annoy you and spam their terrain and make it really hard for you to just spam Earthquake. I think Landorus is definitely going to need help getting rid of the terrain, and these two, if they are able to keep their terrain up, could spell disaster for your Landorus sweep. Corviknight, a new addition to Sword and Shield, is super annoying as well. Mirror Armor is extremely frustrating for Landorus. Whenever Corviknight's on the field, you can never come in without being put to -1 by Mirror Armor. That means Landorus will always be at -1 attack. Like, it's just, there's nothing you can do. So while Corviknight's on the field, Landorus is always neutered and always at -1. That's a big deal going forward. Corviknight, I think, is a great mon, and it also, resists Landorus's, it is immune to Landorus's Earthquake, resists Fly. The only way you can really hit it is Rock Slide or Superpower, but those aren't doing too much to a defensive monster like Corviknight. So I think Corviknight is definitely a really good addition to Sword and Shield that does give Landorus lots of problems. Defiant and Competitive are also annoying counters to Landorus. Milotic, being the main competitive user here, can just spam Scalds or Icy Winds, Coil Hypnosis, whatever it needs to do. It can be really obnoxious for Landorus. It also has a pretty decent defense stat. And the Defiant, Tornadus, and Thundurus, and now Zapdos are all very annoying as well, just because they're getting +1 attack. They're going to hit you with some max Airstreams, and they're just going to be stuck at +1 attack, and you can't get rid of that. So it's very relevant, these new Pokemon getting their Defiant abilities back, and also getting Defiant in the case of Zapdos. So I think Defiant is definitely another good answer to Landorus. Flying types are the first partner for our boy Landorus here. Tornadus, Zapdos, and Thunderous are all great partners for Landorus. He's able to just spam Earthquake freely, while the rest of them support the team in other ways, whether it be Thunder Wave or Thunderbolting, or just being annoying with Tornadus. Like, you have lots of options to spam Earthquake next to them. I think Koko and Feeny are necessary on a team featuring Landorus, just because you really need to change the terrain from Grassy Terrain. If you're playing against a Grassy Terrain Pokemon and you can't change the terrain, Earthquake's going to do nothing. You can max to avoid Grassy Terrain, but that only lasts for 3 turns, and Grassy Terrain is a minimum of 5, so if you can't change it, it is going to stipend Landorus a little bit. They can also switch out to reset it. It can be really, really frustrating for the Landorus, so I think pairing Landorus with Koko or Feeny is almost essential, because Landorus doesn't get high horsepower or anything, so you have to run Earthquake. So these two are essential to a Landorus team. I also think Cresselia is a tried and true partner. You're able to just U-turn and Trick Room on the same turn. U-turn into your sweeper, whether it's Tyranitar, Rhyperior, whatever you're using. You just U-turn into that thing. And Landorus is just vibing. Cresselia is setting up Trick Room. It's a very potent strat, tried and true. Also, Cresselia can spam Helping Hand for potential EQs. It's just a great partner. I also think Celesteela is another one to note. Celesteela can benefit a lot from max Quake boosts, just setting up Leech Seeds, becoming a win condition in the late game. So I think Celesteela is another flying type that just benefits Landorus a ton. It also can deal with those pesky ice types, which is always annoying for Landorus. So let's break down Landorus into some pros and cons. The pros: Intimidate, the best ability in the game. You can't go wrong with Intimidate. Another pro is those really cute eyes. Like, goddamn, Landorus, calm down with those eyes. U-turn is another pro. U-turn is obviously essential, really good with Intimidate, so another great pro. The attack stat, sexy as hell. Look at that thing. 145 attack stat. How are you supposed to deal with this thing? Good lord. Good max as well. It's another pro. And good item synergy. Lots of items, lots of choices you can make, and it can really just fit into your team because of the item synergy. Let's look at those cons. More nerfs to Intimidate with the addition of Corviknight and the Defiant Genies returning. Doesn't feel good to be an Intimidate Pokemon, and also Inner Focus being immune to Intimidate. Still gives me reoccurring nightmares. That's more of a personal vibe, but it could happen to you too. 4 times weak to ice, I guess. You know, it's 4 times weak to ice, but most of the time that's pretty manageable. But yeah, it's still con, I guess. And it is vulnerable to Intimidate. Very weak to its own best pro. So there you have it. Landorus overall has been a Pokemon that's dominated this game for so long, and it's easily one of the best Pokemon historically. Incineroar might have something to say about that, but for the most part, Landorus has been a king. Look at 2015 Worlds. Landorus is just absolutely insane. Now I would like a word from one of my Landorus experts. Blake Hopper, could you chime in here and give me the spicy take on how you feel about Landorus returning in the Crown Tundra?
Oh god, Lando's back? Good thing I stopped playing years ago. I can't come back anymore. I gotta go, bye!
Thank you for that insightful take, Blake. I'm sure there'll be a lot of use to our viewers. Landorus has dominated this game since it came out in 2013, and it really hasn't stopped, and we've even seen it terrorize like 2019 and 2016. It's been a viable Pokemon even against legendaries. It's just an amazing Pokemon, and just something that is a must in competitive Pokemon. Either make sure you can beat this thing or use it yourself. It's gonna ruin your day, or it's gonna make your day. Either one. Let's rate this bad boy on a scale of 1 to 10. I give Landorus 9 beautiful eyes out of 10. God damn, Landorus. Too good. Keep it 100, King. And thank you guys for watching. My name is Colin, as always. I love you guys. Please like and subscribe. Have a good one.